Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Girlfriends Getaway. For those of you who are just meeting me, I'm Kate Waite. I'm an author, educator, and host of GGTV. Overwhelm, stress, and anxiety is something that we all have to deal with at different moments in our life. But today, you're going to meet the ultimate Zen mama herself, Pauline Pollard. She knows exactly how to teach you how to manage and eliminate stress and anxiety. Her fresh and effective tips and tools will show you how to flip the switch on the way you manage and deal with stress and overwhelm. Her approach is unique and easy to learn. And the best part is that you can begin to use these strategies to calm your overwhelm and your anxiety right away. So sit back, take a deep breath, and relax. The Zen Mama is here, and she's ready to help you feel great and confidently go after your biggest dreams.
Rarely do you get to meet someone who has the incredible life experiences that this woman has. Having traveled the world, visiting 50 plus countries and 5 continents, I'm excited to introduce you to my friend Pauline. Some of her adventures include trekking in the foothills of Mount Everest, coming face to face with silverback gorillas, and having had an audience with the Dalai Lama, meeting Princess Diana, and spending time in the slums of Calcutta with Mother Teresa's nuns. This woman knows how to experience life to the fullest. Pauline is a self-esteem and mindset coach from Queensland, Australia, who helps women and teenagers let go of their emotional blocks and negative beliefs to break free of repeating patterns that have kept them stuck in stress and overwhelm, and instead move into a life full of joy, freedom, and inspiration. As a speaker and educator, she draws upon her experience as a nurse, diabetes educator, health promotion officer, and certified self-esteem coach. Along with her studies in energy medicine, emotional freedom technique, Reiki, yoga, mindfulness practices, she's created a masterclass in becoming a Zen mama. Pauline will share a bit about her work and how she can help you become a Zen mama too. Hi Pauline, how are you? Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, well, I'm excited for our viewers to learn about your work and for you to share a little bit about what you're doing to help women and teenagers.
Yes. So I'm a self-esteem and mindset coach for teenagers and mums. I work very closely with teenagers who are suffering from anxiety, stress, overwhelm, whether that be at school, whether that be in the sporting arena as well. So I have worked closely with some teenagers who are really good at sport and they want to just take it to that next level. So I work with their mindset and I work with the stress and overwhelm that they may feel before they actually get out there and start performing on the sports field or the swimming or whatever their sport might be. And I also work with mums who are feeling really stressed and overwhelmed as well. Yes, I think we can all put our hand up for that.
I know. Well, I love too what you're doing, and your approach is different, and that's what I think makes your work really special. So if you could maybe share a little bit about how, your process is a little different than, what we're kind of used to.
Yeah, I think the way that people have been working with anxiety and stress is not actually serving us today, in that the way that I work with clients is that I teach children, I teach the teenagers and the mums, that the mums are usually in the sessions with the teens, and I teach them about their body and what's going on in their body when they're actually suffering with the symptoms of anxiety and stress and overwhelm. Because within our body becomes imbalanced, the different systems in our body become imbalanced when we're suffering with the stress and overwhelm. And so it's really important that those systems get back into balance again, in order to reduce that stress and overwhelm. And then throughout the day, when challenges come up, I teach the mums and the teenagers different techniques that they can use throughout their day, that when challenges come up, they can use these techniques to help to move that energy through their body when they're feeling that stress and that overwhelm to actually calm their nervous system down and then enable them to move through whatever the challenge may be. So, for example, at school, if it's exam time, so we all get nervous when, you know, you have to sit an exam or give a presentation.
For sure.
And so it's really important. Like, these kids have done so much study to enable them to get to the place where, you know, they've got all this information in their mind and they want to get it out on the paper in the exam, or they want to be able to give a really great presentation. And what can trip them up is when they're feeling anxious and overwhelmed and they're not able to communicate the way that they would normally communicate when they're feeling relaxed. So these techniques are brilliant. They're short, simple, quick techniques that actually get the body, that calm the nervous system down, enable for them to be able to speak, sit their exams, that sort of thing.
Anxieties and stresses or things, the trigger, it's kind of gets stuck in your head. So what are some of the tools that simple tricks, or is there any techniques that you use or work with that you like to suggest?
When you actually explain about what's going on in the body with anxiety, in regards to anxiety, it helps to, I immediately see in my clients, they take a deep breath and they just start to relax a little bit more, because they realize that it's something that they do have control over, that they're able to do something about it. Because a lot of the time people will come and see me and they feel that they have no control over the way that their body is responding to what's going on. And so it's really important to get children and parents back in touch with what's going on within them and know that they can control their internal environment. They might not be able to control their external environment, but they can control what's going on within themselves and their body. And so one of the techniques that I love to use that helps to calm down the nervous system, and actually, so when you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, immediately your body has switched into the fight and flight state. Okay, and I work a lot with the meridians. So these are the energy systems in the body, and what is called the triple warmer meridian, you don't have to remember the name, but this particular meridian is linked with the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight and flight nervous system in our body. And so we want to calm that down. Okay, so when you're feeling really stressed and you want to relax yourself a little bit more, this is a brilliant way to calm down your nervous system. And it's very simple. It's a matter of tracing that meridian and using the breath as well. And I'll speak a little bit more about the breath in a moment, because that's another technique I'd like to introduce. But what the meridian is, you start here in your temple.
Right in the temple, okay. Right up there?
Yes, and I'll just trace it first and then we can do it together. So you go inwards and around your ear, down your neck, down your shoulder, down your arm, and you actually come off the ring finger and just pull it off. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm tracing this particular meridian backwards, because when you trace a meridian forwards, it's igniting it, it's getting it momentum. So this one has already got momentum, okay, because you're already in the fight and flight. So you want to calm it down. Okay. So what you do is
does it matter
start
which
here.
Side? I'm sorry, does it matter which side?
Do it both sides.
Okay.
Yeah, I do it both sides. Okay. And it's so quick and easy just to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, trace around, behind your ear, down your shoulder, down your arm, and off your ring finger. And you've exhaled. And do it on the other side. Inhale and exhale. Trace down and off your ring finger.
Wow.
And immediately you will start to feel just this calming effect throughout your body. And it's really important when you use energy techniques, it's important to actually notice how you feel before you do the technique. And then afterwards, just reflect on the feeling.
This is going to be my new go-to.
Yeah.
But it's just
Absolutely.
wonderful. It's amazing how you just can just feel just like a lighter feeling right after
Yep.
doing that. That's wonderful.
Yeah. I'll tell you a little secret with this as well. I've worked with women who have been going through menopause
Mm-hmm.
and they've been suffering with the hot flushes as
Right.
well. They have used this technique when they're in the middle of a hot flush, and they have reported back to me. So they've just done it once on both
Really?
sides. You can do it 3 times if you want to. And they've reflected, like, after they've done it, and said, wow, it has, if not eradicated the hot flush
That's
in the
amazing.
moment.
Wow.
Yeah, because you're working with that nervous system. Now, it's really important to use the breath to move energy. And when you see children, you'll see that very much. Like my daughter, when she was growing up, and even now, she jumps on the trampoline and she'll take deep breaths while she's moving. And what's happening is that movement and the breathing is moving the energy, shifting the energy through your body, which is what you want to happen, because all of our emotions are energy and you want to move emotions through your body. You don't want them stuck in your energy system. But the other key thing that I think is really important for people to know about the breath is that at the bottom of our lungs, we have receptors that are linked to our nervous system as well.
Wow.
And these receptors are linked to what we call the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming nervous system. So you've got your fight and flight, and then you've got the calming nervous system. And so by taking a deep breath in, and the oxygen going to the bottom of our lungs, it triggers those receptors to the parasympathetic nervous system to switch from fight and flight to calming down.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
not only are you taking in a deep breath of oxygen as well to feed your cells and everything, but it's also calming your nervous system down. So that technique that I just showed you, the calming the triple warmer, and so you're calming down with the meridian, you're using that to calm down the nervous system. You're also taking a deep breath in, which is also calming the nervous system down as well.
The first thing I think of is what I do when I get stressed out. I stop breathing, which is probably what
Absolutely.
a lot of people do. You get so worked up, you forget to breathe.
Yes. Yeah, and it's interesting what you said also, Kate. You'll see it a lot in little children when they're really upset when they take shallow breaths and they're crying and they're sort of like, and they're sobbing. When you're taking shallow breaths, it's actually stimulating the sympathetic nervous system. So that's the fight and flight. So you're staying in that cycle. So with little children, the moment that you can actually help them to take a deep breath in, it will help to break that cycle of them staying in that fight and flight. Yeah.
So these are some really helpful techniques that people are going to be able to use. I wish I would have had these years ago, but they are definitely so valuable that I'm going to be using in my life right now.
Oh, don't we all wish that we had them when we were kids? Like, I've introduced these techniques to my children are now, my daughter's 14 and my son is 16. And I started these techniques with my kids when my daughter was 5 and my son was 7. And so they've grown up with these techniques. But with children, when you're working with energy, things happen very, very quickly because basically they just want to feel good. So when you're using these techniques with children and teenagers, because the results are pretty much instantaneous, they love using these techniques. They're quick and they're really easy. They can take them anywhere they go, you know, like they don't have to have me. Like I teach them and empower the teenagers to use a variety of different techniques for a variety of different situations. So they're able to then walk away feeling empowered that they have this little toolbox of things that they can refer back to throughout their day when they need them. And that is the really important thing. So they don't feel reliant to have to come to me to see have sessions every fortnight for the rest of their life. They can just come to me when they need to. I usually do a block of, like say 6 sessions with them, get them on track, and then they just come back to see me for, like a 90-minute power session, maybe before exams, or maybe before they have a big sporting event, or maybe if they just feel that they just want to come and see me because they're starting to feel those challenges come up again for different things that are happening in their life. So that's how I work with my clients. And it's also important, something that I also address is belief systems, because a lot of the time when children are suffering with low self-esteem, it's coming from their subconscious mind, not their conscious mind. So consciously they might feel, yeah, I want to do this new thing. I want to start, new classes or whatever it might be. But then when the subconscious mind kicks in, it's like that mind chatter that you hear is, you can't do that. Well, who do you think you are? Last time you did that, you fell flat on your face and everyone laughed at you, So that mind chatter is coming from the subconscious mind where our beliefs are held. So it's really important to work with those beliefs and being able to move those out of our energy system and replace them with more empowering beliefs that serve us. And when you do that, that's when the self-esteem and the confidence comes back to our children, where they do feel worthy, they're ready to share their gifts and values and what they have to offer to the world, and they feel confident about doing that.
Thank you so much for being with us today, and I really appreciate it, and I will definitely be sharing a link. Do you want to give people your website, and we'll have shared links below?
Yeah, sure. My website it's just paulinepollard.com.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Pauline. I hope you have a lovely day, and thank you again.
My pleasure, Kate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching another episode of GGTV. We hope that if you enjoyed watching, you'll subscribe below and share it with your friends. Make sure you go to girlfriendsgetaway.com to learn more about the incredible giveaway we're doing all month long to celebrate the launch of Girlfriends Getaway and GGTV. So here's to good friends and great adventures together. Aloha!